What's the difference between the Lions of the last 2 years versus the Lions of the past, let's say, 5, 10, 30? Let's be honest, it's the entirety of their existence. The Lions didn't start winning until they first hired the right coach who brought in the right players and then showed those players what to do. Now we have a Super Bowl championship team. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Why is an estate planning attorney talking about the Detroit Lions? Because the same way they became a great team has a lot of correlations with great estate planning. Did you know that more than half of Americans don't have an estate plan? That's a lot of families left without protection. It's like playing offense without an offensive line, which leaves your quarterback open to get sacked. Unfortunately, we've seen both teams and families lose big because they weren't prepared. Hey Detroit Lions fans, John Titone here from John R. Titone and Associates, where we're huge fans of protecting what matters, just like the Lions are protecting their winning streak. Today, we're going to compare the Lions' strategy to estate planning because in concept, they are the same thing. In football, you must play both sides of the ball. You have an offense and you have a defense. In estate planning, it's the same thing. Imagine this. The Lions are up, playing strong, and suddenly a fumble. Just like that, things can slip out of control. Without a solid estate plan, your legacy can be just as vulnerable as a fumble. Not having an estate plan in place puts your family and assets at risk of a turnover where the state or the courts may end up making key decisions for you or your family. The good news? Just like the Lions rely on a solid game plan to stay on top, you can protect your assets and loved ones with an estate plan. So here's what an estate plan does for you, proactively, or what I like to call offensively. An estate plan serves like a playbook so that your loved ones have a set of instructions of what to do with your assets upon an emergency, death, or incapacitation. But it also protects your wishes. For example, if someone were in a car accident and they went into a coma, their estate plan would list their wishes so nothing could be held up. But an estate plan also helps you play defense too. It protects you and your loved ones from confusion, creditors, and expensive court battles. An estate plan is like your offensive line on offense and your defensive backs on defense. It serves as a force field from the outside world which protects your assets such as your house, 401k, or other investments. When there is no estate plan in place, those assets are frozen and left to a lengthy and expensive probate process. Because much like when the Lions win that Super Bowl, they are going to want to preserve their team legacy. Well, it's no different than your family. Think of it this way. Your estate plan is like your own personal playbook. You're choosing who passes the ball for you, who receives your assets, and how they're managed. For example, naming a power of attorney is like selecting your star quarterback. It's the person you trust to handle things if you can't. Often people get confused by estate planning or they don't understand why it's needed. But just as I explained, it's for your protection. So while Detroit Lions are working hard to keep their winning streak, you can start your own legacy by putting an estate plan in place. Be the hero of your family and get started today. Visit us online at johntitone.com or give us a call at 586-580-8850.